Hello, Lothar here. It is late January 2025 and this video is going to be on the topic of like town stops, resupply, and basically the principles, things to keep in mind. The video is going to basically cover the basic principles, and then the second video is going to be on the very specifics of towns and postal things that I might do for my style of hiking. I appreciate everyone hikes at different paces, has different desires to do town stops and things like that. So all I'm going to say is this is my one view. I hope it's helpful to you, and obviously there's going to be differing opinions. Take what's useful to you and ignore what isn't. So let's just do a bit of housekeeping in terms of what's happened recently around the trail. You may have heard that Canada has now closed the entry point with a Canadian entry permit is for going from the monument at the top of America, where you think, oh, can I get to Manning Park? They've now stopped that permanently, so you have to hike up from Harts Pass, get to the terminus, take your photographs, and then literally turn around. You cannot enter Canada, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So the other thing to keep in mind is there are other exits whereby you can exit via Harts Pass, but also there's an exit via Ross Lake, which I've done before. I'll do a separate video on that if it's if people are interested in doing that kind of excursion. It's a bit additional mileage, but it's another section of beautiful scenery. Okay, other things. It is now coming up to, as I said, the end of January. So what's going to be happening soon is the March start daters are going to be wondering, hang on, we've got their permits are issued 3 weeks before the start date, and they have those 3 weeks to download, go to the portal, download and print your permit. I would say keep a PDF copy on file, either on your phone or on your email account, so that you can access it should you lose your printed copy. Do not forget to print it, and please remember, once your hike date passes, you cannot then access the portal again to re-download your permit. It is then closed. It has been issued. That 3 week period is what you've got to work with. Don't mess it up. Make sure you print before you start hiking. Your hike date. The last thing I would mention, the last couple of things I would mention, is around gear. Get those last minute purchases done. Some of the gear items, certainly the most popular ones, might have a lead time now. If they're running short of supplies. Normally they obviously build up stocks prior to the season, but remember, some of the good stuff or the popular stuff might be going quick, so get those purchases done to avoid long lead times, or factor in long lead times. Let's dive in. General topics around resupply. Always remember, post offices, if you're going to use them to send boxes and resupplies, very varied hours, so double check when you're going to send it. Beware of weekends and beware of national holidays, and be very wary of weekends where national holiday follows straight after. That can really screw you up if you're expecting to pick up a parcel and you've missed the regular post office hours. So I only send parcels, this is my philosophy, I only send parcels to places where I am reasonably comfortable taking a zero if I have to, and having an extended stay because there are things to do, like restaurants or something like that, should I mess up a parcel and want to hang around for it. But in general, yeah, parcels I only send to places that I would do a stop on if I really had to. Similarly with town stops with motels and hotels and Airbnbs and hostels, there are multiple reasons why you want to pay attention to the dates and times when you arrive there, because if it's a weekend, guess what? The rates normally go up, certainly in hotels and motels, and also if it's bad weather, those can fill up really quickly, so be careful of those. Okay, when it comes to sending parcels, remember, in most cases, certainly if you're going to do USPS, they will have schemes whereby you can send sort of a lower speed, like ground mail, and that's prices are normally calculated by the distance and the weight of the parcel. But if you're going to use priority mail, which I primarily use for the multiple reasons, is they have standard size boxes which you actually pick up at the post office, and then you just tape them up and they are boxes that will be delivered in a very clearly defined time, and they have a weight limit, or basically up to weight limit. So if you're going to send a parcel priority, it gets there fast, and pack it out as much as you can up to the weight limit, because you've already paid for it anyway. So make sure, whenever you're sending parcels, try and fill in those gaps, either with Resupply, favourite Resupply. They can't do you any harm, and it's a nice opportunity to make sure you're using your priority fee to its maximum. Now, the other thing about priority mail is you have the opportunity to bounce it. Now that means you can send it to a post office, which in your name, and send it to a place called general delivery, which is where every post office stores things for collection. Basically you send it into general delivery. I'll put a little note in the video description of kind of how I'd label my boxes, and the parcel goes into general delivery awaiting your arrival. So when you arrive, you show your ID, make sure you write your name on the box and not your trail name, because it's got to match your ID. You then get the box and you have a choice of opening it, in which case it's been technically delivered, or you can ask that, okay, I don't need the stuff inside of this box right now, can we bounce it forward to the next post office? And you can only do that with priority mail. So keep that in mind, and you can bounce multiple times at the discretion of the post office. I've managed to bounce things 3 times, at least once, so at least one season, and regularly bounce at least a box once or twice. It is a great service because I use the bounce boxes for, I have a box following me up. It's actually my bear can, which I send priority, and it's full of spares, extra medical stuff, like a spare protective screen for my phone, an extra cable, all the spares I might need that I want following up the trail. But what I also do is I pack it out with lots and lots of general resupply that if I do open it, it's stuff that I'll always use anyway. So it might be loads of standard snacks or a couple of Mountain House or Peak refuels, and it supplements whatever I'm buying along the trail as well. But I bounce that regularly up trail, and it follows me, so I've got stuff there when I need it, and I can sort of pull it out of the bounce system and open it at any time. I did have one lovely experience at the post office where I did open a parcel. This was one of the boxes, and it was priority mail, and I then returned to the counter to the same lady, and I said, look, I have opened this box, so I can't bounce it, can I send this forward? And she very politely said, and she looked me straight in the eye, she said, I didn't see you open it, so I'm sure we can bounce this forward. And I thought, I can't guarantee you'll get that very often, but when it happens, it's one of those nice things on the trail. You kind of go, thank you. It's so keep that in mind. Be nice to the postal people. They are very supportive of PCT hikers, and occasionally they can help you out in ways that are nice. So, okay, next thing. When you're sending parcels, now if you're sending parcels to the USPS, they can put it into general delivery, as I've said before. If you're getting parcels delivered via FedEx or UPS, remember, you cannot send them to the post office into general delivery. They used to do that before, but apparently the contracts have changed. So post offices technically will not accept post offices will not accept parcels for general delivery that are coming from other companies like FedEx or UPS. So keep that in mind. Some post offices might still do it, but technically I wouldn't rely on it. So if you find that you're ordering stuff along the trail, and you have delivery options, try your hardest to get the delivery done via USPS, and then they will accept it into general delivery at a post office. If you are stuck with using FedEx or UPS, then you might have to reach out via the Angel network to a local Angel and say, look, would they be willing to accept a parcel on your behalf that you could then pick up later. Just keep that in mind. Any parcel delivery, add a couple of days to whatever they tell you. Oh, it'll be there in 3 days, it'll be there in 5 days. Add another couple of days. if there are going to be any delays in America, it's going to be in remote areas. And guess what? A lot of parcels are going to be in remote areas where the road traffic, it normally has to go through a very convoluted route to get it delivered. So add another couple of days. And also, if you're sending stuff to resorts or individuals, remember there's a good chance that they actually go in and collect their own mail from the post office, rather than the post office delivers directly to their address. They may actually do a pickup at the post office, and they may not do it every day. So remember, factor in another couple of days on the assumption that the resort might actually maybe do post office pickups. Well, I don't know, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday or something. But remember, you are always at the mercy of the postal systems, but because you're in remote areas, you're going to have, if there's going to be a delay, it's going to be there. So just factor in a few more days. Now, you may screw up, okay? And I have screwed up. I certainly screwed up last year, where I sent a parcel and I didn't allow enough time. I arrived at the post office and they said it hadn't arrived. Now, this is where you're stuck in that position, because you don't actually know, is it going to be delivered later today? Is it going to come in tomorrow? Or is it going to take another couple of days? You have no tangible way of assessing how long to wait. That's really frustrating. That's why I say add a couple of days, and don't cut it too tight. You can just let the parcel go and hope that they, in a certain period of time, they will then return it to your return address, which you've obviously got to decide where you want any parcels or uncollected parcels to be returned. But you can again potentially, and please don't do this too often, reach out to the Angel network to say they've had a problem with the parcel, because a local angel might be able to assist with your ID, or at least a copy of it or something like that, in such a way that he can interface with the post office and get it bounced forward on your behalf. Now, that has happened, but it is tricky. It is, it's just trying to avoid it.